The 10 interesting facts about the new year. Number 10. The Guinness World Record for fireworks. The competition to put on the biggest fireworks display on New Year's Eve has led cities and organizations to try to break world records. The Guinness Book of Records has repeatedly certified the largest or most numerous fireworks display at midnight on December 31st. Sydney, Dubai, Rio de Janeiro, and other metropolises have deployed huge amounts of pyrotechnics, carefully synchronized with music and visual choreography, in an attempt to transcend mere local celebration and achieve global fame. Planning for a record-breaking event is extremely complex. Teams of engineers, pyrotechnicians, musicians, lighting technicians, and safety experts spend months designing a show that combines technical precision and artistic beauty. Launch zones separated by kilometers are established. Computer systems are programmed to coordinate the simultaneous firing of thousands of devices, and lighting sequences are rehearsed that draw geometric figures or cultural illusions in the sky. The media impact of achieving a record is enormous, attracting tourism, sponsors, and global television coverage. These attempts to break world records reflect human ambition and imagination, as well as the capacity of the international community to admire shared achievements. Although the ephemeral splendor of fireworks lasts only a few minutes, the symbolic and emotional impact lives on in the collective memory. The Guinness certification not only holds a cold and numerical record, but encapsulates the creative and logistical effort of a city that, at the beginning of the new year, set out to give the world a sample of its ingenuity, its joy, and its determination to shine under the night vault. Number 9. The cultural agenda of the first day of the year. The first day of the year is not limited to a hangover or a relaxing stay at home. In many cities, a special cultural and artistic agenda is prepared for January 1st. Concerts, exhibitions, film screenings, parades, and craft markets flourish, taking advantage of the time off work and the optimistic atmosphere of the coming year. Some events, such as the traditional New Year's concert in Vienna, have become unmissable events, with an international audience tuning in to enjoy the waltzes and polkas of the Strauss family. These cultural programs on the first day of the year have a dual purpose. On the one hand, they energize the leisure offer at a time when the population has free time. On the other, they reinforce the symbolic meaning of the change of calendar. Art, music, dance, and cinema act as messengers of the new stage, providing inspiration and reflection. In addition, they are opportunities for cultural institutions, museums, theaters, galleries, to attract new audiences, inviting them to start the year with enriching and stimulating experiences for the mind and spirit. The consolidation of the cultural agenda on January 1st is part of the contemporary trend of considering free time as an integral part of public life. Far from being an empty day or a simple recovery after the previous night, the new year becomes a canvas that each community paints with its activities, shows, and traditions. Thus, culture accompanies us from the first dawn of the year, reminding us that the time that begins is also a space for aesthetic enjoyment, social cohesion, and the continuity of creative legacies that transcend the change of digits on the calendar. Number 8. Vacation rental spikes. The combination of vacations, holidays, and the cultural appeal of the new year triggers a notable increase in vacation rentals. Families, groups of friends, and couples are looking for different options to say goodbye to the year. Whether it's a cabin near a frozen lake, an apartment with a view of the fireworks, or a beach house where they can enjoy warm temperatures. This seasonal demand boosts vacation rental platforms and stimulates local economies, especially in popular tourist destinations. Advanced planning is essential, as the most attractive properties are often booked months in advance. Demand not only affects the price of accommodations, which are generally higher at this time, but also forces hosts to prepare to receive guests from diverse origins, adapting check-in times, offering packages with special dinners, or suggesting local activities to enjoy the surroundings. This context shows that seasonal New Year tourism generates an industry of its own, with highly specialized service and experience providers. Peaks in holiday rentals reflect the collective desire to transform the turn of the year into an experience different from the usual routine. For many, leaving their home at this time symbolizes the break with the past and the beginning of a new stage in an unknown environment. The geography of the celebration expands, multiplying the cultural and economic impact of the new year. From the mountains of Europe to the Pacific Islands, the celebration becomes a perfect excuse to rediscover the world and at the same time get to know oneself in foreign settings full of promise. Number 7. The adjustment of atomic clocks. The precise measurement of time is essential in many areas, from satellite navigation to telecommunications. Atomic clocks, based on the stability of the frequency emitted by atoms, have become the absolute reference to guarantee time accuracy on a planetary level. The new year is an occasion when metrology institutes and the entities responsible for official time make minute adjustments, either to synchronize with the Earth's rotation or to introduce leap seconds when discrepancies between atomic and astronomical time require it. These adjustments seek to maintain coherence between civil time and natural time, preserving the symbolic link between clocks and the Earth's movement around the Sun. The technical complexity involved in determining the exact length of a second and its correspondence to natural cycles is a reminder that, despite high technology, time remains a cultural construct that attempts to reflect cosmic order. At the turn of the year, this coordination is especially significant, as the entire world resets its symbolic chronology while scientists ensure the accuracy of the temporal pulse. The adjustments to atomic clocks are a reflection of the relationship between science and society. In order for us to enjoy the countdown, the international synchronization of events, or simply read the time on our electronic devices, there is a group of specialists who ensure temporal accuracy and coherence. In this way, the new year is not only a social celebration, but also a milestone in the ongoing task of aligning human time with the perfection of the universe, without losing sight of the fact that the exact minute in which the year changes is also the result of our incessant search to understand and share time. Number 6. First journalistic chronicles of the new year. Long before live television or social media, newspapers were responsible for reporting on New Year's celebrations. The first journalistic chronicles about the annual change appeared in the 18th century and were consolidated in the 19th, when local and regional newspapers dedicated pages to describing how the new year had been welcomed in squares, churches, noble houses, or urban boulevards. These chronicles offered details of the clothing, music, illustrious guests, and meals served, contributing to forming a collective memory of festive customs. Over time, the chronicles evolved and became more professional. Journalists began to incorporate opinions, compare the celebration with that of the previous year, and even predict trends for the incoming cycle. In this way, the social pulse was reflected. The joys and concerns that accompanied each annual change found their echo in the printed paper. These narratives not only informed, but also shaped the perception of the holiday. Through the press, the public learned about the magnitude of the celebrations in other corners of the world, thus stimulating cultural exchange. The arrival of photography and the subsequent emergence of radio and television transformed the chronicles, making them more immediate and visual. But their essence remains. Journalism continues to play a key role in portraying the new year, creating a narrative that connects the past with the present. These early chronicles, as rudimentary as they were, laid the groundwork for the current news discourse, in which millions of people follow the minute-by-minute events of December 31st, feeding the historical memory of one of the most universal celebrations of humanity. Number 5. International coordination of televised events. International television coverage of the new year requires a complex choreography that involves channels, correspondents, producers, cameramen, presenters, and technicians scattered around the globe. While some cities have already entered the new year, others are still waiting for midnight. The most influential television channels plan their schedules months in advance, determining which festivities they will show live, at what time they will connect with each country, and how they will synchronize the broadcasts to offer a global mosaic of celebrations. This international coordination involves agreements with foreign networks, news agencies, and freelance journalists, as well as the use of satellites, fiber optics, and the internet to guarantee stable and high-quality transmissions. The objective is to give the audience the possibility of virtually traveling to Tokyo, Moscow, Paris, Mexico City, or Buenos Aires, contemplating the diversity of rituals, from fireworks in ports and squares to religious ceremonies and formal banquets. The television screen becomes a multicultural window that reinforces the feeling that the new year is a planetary event. The technical difficulty and logistical precision necessary to orchestrate this global coverage highlight the power of the media as builders of a shared temporal consciousness. Television, with its ability to offer simultaneous images from different points on the planet, reinforces the idea that we are all living the same crucial moment despite the time difference. This synchronization is not limited to the technical. It reinforces empathy and mutual curiosity, showing that humanity, in its diversity, can briefly unite around a symbolic event that gives meaning to the passage of time. Number 4. Pre-midnight rehearsals. The flawless execution of the New Year's Eve show, especially in such complex scenarios as synchronized fireworks, mass concerts, or television broadcasts, is not left to chance. Days before December 31st, cities and producers organize general or partial rehearsals to calibrate the technical elements involved in the event. These tests include setting up sound equipment, checking lighting, checking transmission links, coordinating pyrotechnic effects, and rehearsing artistic choreographies. Although most rehearsals are held without an audience or with restricted access, local residents often notice the unusual bustle and lights in the sky, wondering what is going on. For authorities and organizers, these moments beforehand are crucial to detect errors, anticipate unforeseen events, and ensure that, come midnight, everything runs smoothly. If something goes wrong, there is still time to correct, adjust, and fine-tune the details. Thus, the rehearsal becomes a discreet but indispensable ritual, reflecting the rigor and professionalism with which the celebration is approached. The practice of rehearsing for the new year reveals a less visible facet of the event, its scenic dimension. It is not just a spontaneous celebration, but a great global spectacle that integrates artistic, technical, and logistical elements. Success on the stellar night is the result of hours of silent preparation. Just as a pianist rehearses his notes before the concert, cities and production teams rehearse their own symphony of time, ensuring that the leap into the coming year is harmonious, safe, and memorable for those who witness it, whether in person or through the media. Number 3. Increase in electricity consumption. The New Year festivities bring with them a significant increase in electricity consumption, driven by decorative lighting, audiovisual shows, prolonged operation of commercial premises, heating, in the Northern Hemisphere, or air conditioning, in the southern hemisphere, as well as the intensive use of electronic devices to capture and share the moment. This energy demand can generate peaks in the electrical networks, forcing distribution companies to prepare in advance to avoid outages or overloads. This phenomenon reveals the contemporary dependence on energy to liven up our celebrations. Light, more than a functional resource, becomes a scenic component that accentuates the festive atmosphere. From gigantic illuminated signs in Times Square to thousands of bulbs on the streets of large capitals, electricity gives material form to collective enthusiasm. The control centers of the electrical network monitor these increases closely, and in some countries, governments even issue recommendations to citizens to moderate energy consumption, reminding them that the celebration must not compromise sustainability. The relationship between New Year and energy illustrates the crucial role of infrastructure in everyday life. Without a steady supply, many of the iconic images of December 31st, whether digital projections, amplified music, live broadcasts, or simply the lights of the home, would not be possible. This increase is a metaphor for the power of technology in the modern holiday. We celebrate time, but we also celebrate the human capacity to illuminate the night and fill the world with light and color in an instant marked by the hope of a better cycle. Number 2. The first new year in the digital age. The arrival of the 21st century was accompanied by the consolidation of the digital age, and the new year was quick to adapt to this technological transformation. The first new year fully celebrated in the digital age, the transition from 1999 to 2000, turned out to be an event full of expectations, fears of the famous year 2000 effect, and an unprecedented media effervescence. Millions of people were glued to the screens of their computers, televisions, and mobile devices, following the countdown from different corners of the globe. For the first time, the global internet allowed humanity to share the change of millennium in real time, intensifying the sensation of living the same planetary moment. Since then, the digital age has revolutionized the way we experience the new year. Social networks, real-time video calls, live broadcasts through online platforms, and the instantaneous dissemination of messages and photographs have created an interactive and global environment. It is no longer necessary to wait for the front page of the next day's newspaper to find out what happened in Tokyo or Rio de Janeiro. We can witness it instantly in a streaming broadcast. Time boundaries are blurred in a great multimedia event in which everyone participates, reacts, and comments. This first new year in the digital age marked a before and after in the way we relate to time and space. Digitalization has democratized information, giving millions of people the possibility of witnessing and participating in celebrations in different parts of the planet. Thus, the ancient tradition of welcoming the year with shared rituals has found in technology a platform to multiply the scope of the experience, turning the change of date into a node of global connection that transcends borders and cultures, and that will continue to evolve as the digital age is perfected and expanded. Number 1. The coordination of the World New Year. The concept of a World New Year did not exist before the era of instant global communications. While different cultures have celebrated the annual transition for centuries, it was the technical ability to transmit images, sounds, and data in real time that consolidated the notion of a planetary event. Today, the world is witnessing a kind of festive relay, starting with the countries of the South Pacific, which enter the year earlier than the rest, and ending with the islands that are further behind in the time zone. This temporal parade unites humanity in a secular and universal ritual, the joint welcome to the future. For this to happen, extraordinary coordination is necessary between governments, media companies, cultural organizations, meteorologists, telecommunications technicians, airline crews, streaming services, and digital platforms. Each link in this chain contributes its know-how so that millions can enjoy the collective experience. The global New Year is a logistical feat that brings together time precision, advanced technology, and a common desire to share the joy of the moment when the clock strikes midnight of a new cycle. This coordinated effort symbolizes the human capacity to transcend differences and concentrate on a common goal. As each country adds its cultural touch, music, food, dance, fireworks, global society shares the essence of the moment, the renewal of hope. The coordination of the World New Year reminds us that, despite the challenges, we can act in harmony, tuned to the universal pulse of time. At that very moment when the year changes, we all look forward, aware that, although we live in very different scenarios, the drive towards the future unites us in the experience of shared time. Thank you for watching our video. Subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Give it a like, comment your thoughts, and share this video with your friends and family.